The Magic Show is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, and check this out. On October 8th and 9th, the StarCityGames.com Open Series comes to Nashville, and this event is going to be huge. We're talking hundreds of players, over $14,000 in cash prizes, at least 18 players qualify for the Charlotte Invitational at the end of the year. Live coverage all day long courtesy of SCG Live, and as much Magic the Gathering as we can pack into one weekend. So make plans to join StarCityGames.com in Nashville, and we'll see you there. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Magic Show. I'm here again with Gerry Thompson, and we are going to talk about Innistrad, and specifically the blue cards in Innistrad. And we begin with Armored Scob.
Literally made for battle.
Rawr. Yeah.
Nice flavor text.
There's beautiful flavor text. There's a really wonderful sort of stream of awesome flavor text in this set.
So, do you ever have enough things that you want to play this in limited? That's like beneficial.
Yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. I mean, like as we go through the list of these like sort of scob zombie things in blue, like they are extremely powerful, and that type of card is a very good enabler.
Cool. Good to know.
Back from the brink, though. What do you think?
Seems all right in limited. All your guys get flashback, but
seems like they priced it right out of constructed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing with Mind Unbound and that. It's like 6 mana. Like, you'd rather play Titan. You know you would. Yeah, okay.
You're like, back from the brink or Frost Titan.
Yeah.
Consecrated
Sphinx.
Yeah. Not close?
Not close.
Not close. So, Battleground Geist is the sort of the other half of the white one. The white one gave your other spirits plus +1, or I'm sorry, plus O+1. Yeah. This one gives them a attack bonus. That's cute. It's interesting that the blue one gives a power bonus.
Well, I guess I can't say for sure the white one's going to give them the toughness boost, but makes more sense than the blue one, maybe? I don't know.
I guess.
Whatever. They know what they're doing. It's wizards.
Come on. They obviously know. So Cackling Counterpart makes me think of, Snapcaster Mage, which we'll get to shortly, but...
Yeah. I mean, this card's awesome, even aside from that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Do you think it actually could be in constructed?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
I don't see why not. Like, Metamorph and Phantasmal Image are doing really well, and this is like another variant of that. 3 mana, but an instant flashback. Like, it's not strictly better or worse, but it's just different and does a similar thing. So
right, any instant that flashbacks, I think, is a huge boon.
Yeah,
you'll see a lot of the flashback spells in Innistrad, I feel, have been sort of toned down sorcery speed so that you don't just get randomly blown out, and this card can sort of do that for you.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
This is like the Bit Blast being an instant, kind of. Like, we knew Cascade was too good. We didn't want to make, them instants because it's a blowout, but then, this card is kind of the same.
Except this one. Now, the only issue with Cackling Counterpart is that it only targets a creature you control.
Yeah.
So
that is true. That is true.
Right. Which is a legitimate sort of, knock against it.
Build around it.
Yeah. Civilized Scholar. How you feel like that looter? You like that looter?
Wish it would just stay a looter.
You don't like it when he goes all angry?
I don't know. Not really. I would rather just be looting, I think, if I'm blue, but one toughness is kind of a killer, I think.
One toughness is not super great, but if you can start looting with it seems okay.
Yeah.
And it's nice that I think it gives you the option that at the end of their turn, you can, my gosh, it untaps itself when it transforms. So
that's true.
They're all tapped out, or you have Feeling of Dread, for example. Tap your guys, turn into a 5/1, get you.
That'd be good.
That seems pretty sweet. Claustrophobia, one of the best pieces of artwork I feel in the set.
Good art, very flavorful, and I like that type of card anyway for limited a lot. So.
That it just shuts down a creature, but for me, this card is all about the sweet blue tones, the ridiculous art, and the awesome flavor text. 6 feet of earth, buddy. Yeah, muffled those cries. That's sweet. So Curiosity, rockin' standard in 1998.
Yep.
Not so much in 2011.
Tidal Warrior. No, I don't know. There's enough hexproof guys. Like, maybe it'll do something, but it seems like just any equipment is probably much better than this card. And it's not like you're drawing into like cheap counter spells like Dazes and Force Wills and stuff. You know, it's not the same.
Right. So, I mean, you can throw it on an Invisible Stalker, which we'll get to, but I don't know if that's the most powerful thing you can be doing.
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, you drew a whopping 1 card off of it, and then they kill it or block it or do something, or well, they won't block it, but they'll do something to it. Curse of the Bloody Tome, limited goodness.
Like a Jace's erasure type thing.
This is one of those where, like, if you get all the Curse of the Bloody Tomes, you can like play the Curse of the Bloody Tome deck.
Maybe.
Limited.
I guess it is common. Like,
yeah,
it's a big set though. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. To get them all, but there's plenty of ways to put cards in graveyards, and that's one of them, which is nice. Now, Delver of Secrets to me is, an awesome limited bomb. If you flip him on turn 2, because you have an instant sorcery on top, like, you are living the dream.
You are living the dream, but even if you have like 7,
it's not. You're hurting to get it. I'm not going to say it's automatic.
Sketchy.
It's a little sketchy.
Yeah, but if you do live the dream, like, it's pretty nice. But again, it's just like a 3-power guy on turn 1. It's not like Nikado on turn 1 killed you every single game. Ideally, you have some other flyers or removal spells or whatever, but
right,
it's still pretty good.
He's a fine man. Deranged Assistant, Milliken to 2.0. Can I go that far? Can I go the 2.0s?
It's colored now.
It is colored.
I don't know if that's better or worse, but
It's in the best color.
it's true. You're gonna be playing blue anyways.
You can now pitch Milliken to Force of Will.
Oh, okay. There you go.
These are our barometers for good creatures. But can you pitch it to Force of Will? I'm not sure. In limited, playing against this card, it did some work.
Yeah.
It really worked well with some of the Stitch Drake that we'll get to shortly. The creatures that require you to exile a creature from your graveyard in order to play them. This card works great. Of course, it obviously accelerates you, which is not something that blue normally does. So,
Seems good to me in limited. Probably not going to make the cut and construct.
no. But Dissipate's coming back.
That's a good one.
That's a fine card.
It's actually getting to the point where cancel is playable, and
Yeah.
this is a fine cancel replacement. So I'll take it.
It's a good cancel. I mean, and in this world of flashbacky stuff and snap casting whatever, exiling whatever it is you're countering is probably a very good thing.
Yep.
Very, very good. Dream Twist, I believe this was in your last article. Is that correct?
It was. Michael Jacob wrote about it, or we were exchanging some ideas, and then he wrote about it. We both wrote about it the same day. But it was a new take on Solar Flare that I hadn't seen before, and it seemed very interesting to me. And the fact that he was considering it, this is normally the type of card that he would just poo-poo all over.
Yeah, like this card is terrible, I would never play this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but he made some good points where, like, you alchemy into this thing, and then, like, flash it back, and then get another one, and flash that back. Then you can just, like, on Burial Rites Sun Titan, get, like, Image, and Liliana, and, like, it seemed to make sense. It does a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's just exciting.
But maybe it's just worse than playing, like, any cantrip ever. So, I don't know. I have to play some more games.
I mean, when you're living the dream,
It's good.
It is a heck of a dream.
It's good. You feel like you're playing a dredge deck at that point, But,
Yeah. But when you don't, like, hit the Sun Titan or the Unburial Rites.
yeah, you, like, mulligan, draw one of those, just brick.
hate life.
Yeah.
So next we have Forbidden Alchemy. Some call it the best card in the set for Standard. What do you think about that?
It's a tall order.
That's pretty tall, man.
It is.
To get over the upcoming Snapcaster Mage is a tall, tall order. Now, Forbidden Alchemy, though, has also been compared to Fact or Fiction. In that, just to run it out there, when you Factor Fiction, you'll normally get like the one spell you want and probably something else like a land or whatever.
Yeah.
And 3 cards you don't really want, which just go to the graveyard. Now this gets you the 1 card that you want and 3 are going to the graveyard. So, just saying.
Impulse would always be better than Fact or Fiction, if that comparison had merit, But like they kind of do similar things, but the fact that you could just like draw 3 cards with Fact or Fiction is a lot different than this card. But if you're playing Forbidden Alchemy with Snapcaster Mage or with Think Twice or Unburial Rites, then maybe this kind of ends up like pseudo drawing you 3 cards. But
Sure. But like I feel like some people are saying this is better than Mystical Teachings, and I think as the blog goes on, it may be true.
maybe they do different things. But this card's definitely powerful, definitely very good.
Yeah, definitely one of the best, like probably top 5 in the set.
Probably.
Yeah.
It being a common is kind of strange too.
Yeah, you think they pushed it in terms of common? What a common can do?
Maybe. I mean, you could draft a bunch of like these and think twices and just like tear through your deck really fast.
Right. Try to get some flashback going on.
Yeah.
Seems good. I mean, for me, I love the fact that you can flashback it at all, even if it's 7 mana, like whatever, you know.
Yeah, I mean, normally you'll just cast it once, but the fact that it's there, like, it's pretty awesome.
It's nice. So on and so forth. Now, Fortress Crab, that's a hell of a crab, man.
That is a hell of a crab.
Woo!
It looks pretty scary.
I love me some Fortress Crab. That thing is going to block everything.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Oh, man. There's not much else to say about it, really.
No, it blocks.
Blocks. It's a blocker. It does blocking things. It's good and limited. Fine man limited. Frightful Delusion. I love me a Rune Boggle.
I was about to say, Rune Boggle's awesome. I'd rather draw a card, I think, but...
I would as well, but, you know, if you got to make them discard a card.
Yeah.
The art's creepy as hell. Like, oh my god. Coming to get you. Freaky eye stuff is always weird. But yeah, ultimately, you know.
I'd probably play one for funsies.
Yeah.
You know, but...
You're going to get somebody with this thing, and it's going to be so good. Yeah, it's going to be so good. Force spikes are always the best, because they're just like, and you're like, just what?
Yeah,
just what?
They get to 7 mana, they want to play their 7-drop every time. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So this card is very good, Grasp of Phantasms.
Yeah, this is pretty sick. I definitely understand why it's not an instant like Repel. You know, got to make it a little worse, but the flashback is probably going to get used. You know, so that makes it super good.
I mean, for me, it's a limited only card.
Right.
But it is very, very good at what it does.
Agreed.
It is an incredible tempo card. It's one of those cards that once it's in your graveyard, that you always have that option, and your opponent now has to think about that, and now has to play around that. It's very much like the bounce spell that we'll get to, but it's similar in that you have to keep this in mind the whole time.
Yeah, there's no real good option for them either. You know, like
it's going to the top, and you're going to draw it again. So it is a Time Walk-esque type card, which is really nice. Hysterical Blindness is, one of those blue -X, -O tricks.
Yeah, that's like the card that we were talking about before, the protection from non-humans.
Yeah.
Where, the board has to be stalemated and someone has to make this big attack phase and it's like, I got you. Or you can maybe fog them or something. But
hold your mouth right,
Yeah.
And if I drew this and
for the most part, these cards are way too situational to be good.
Yeah. And it can lead to blowouts.
It can.
But,
sure.
I mean, so can that other card, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a great card if it can lead to a blowout. Now, Invisible Stalker, people just went nuts over this card when it was first spoiled.
That's understandable. It took a while, I think, for Ledgewalker to catch on, but once someone was like, hey, I played Ledgewalker and did okay, people were like, oh, hell yeah, now I can too. That card is not as embarrassing now, and now they're just like, whoa, Invisible Stalker, it's blue.
Yeah.
So I'm not as embarrassed to play with it.
I remember Moldervine Cloak into Ledgewalker.
Of course you did.
That was a fine combo. What? I love that. Attacking with the monsters in the red zone. It was sweet.
Yeah. And now there's a bunch of swords, and they even put Curiosity in the set too. It's like, go on, do it.
They're giving you the goodies. I like it. It's just it's one of those cards that it's no Squadron Hawk, but
no, it's not. It's a different kind of card, but. Yeah. It's still playable.
Very playable. All right, so everyone, every Johnny has just gone bonkers over Laboratory Maniac.
I'm not buying up levelers, that's for sure.
Yeah. Or any of those other, Divining Witch or whatever kind of crazy cards.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing that type of stuff in Legacy, there are so many better 2-card combos to kill people with. What are you doing?
Why don't you just play Hive Mind?
Yeah.
Why do you have to rely on your Gray Ogre to win you the game? I don't get it. Just kill them immediately. With cards that say lose the game. So Lantern Spirit is, on a bread and butter limited card.
Which damage stacked?
Would have been a lot better a couple years ago.
It would have been, but that's okay. This card's still fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those where it can continually block a flying bomb, which is nice.
Yeah.
But ultimately, is just a 2/1 flyer for 3 mana. So, Lost in the Mist, another one of those expensive counter spells that does stuff.
It's Cryptic Command. It's not Cryptic Command.
It's a couple modes.
It's I don't know if that's a joke. Is the word cryptic in the flavor text? Because that'd be awesome.
It is not. Is that a joke?
Yeah.
Is this a joke? Did you just troll us, wizards? No. I mean, it seems like a fine spell. I mean,
5 mana counter spells.
Now, like the last one that I was excited about was the land cycling one from Alara Reborn.
Yeah.
The Traumatic Visions, I think it
Yes.
was. That was a good card. Because, versatility, that's what you're looking for. But that card doesn't really have it. Now,
Yeah,
Ludovic's Test Subject. I've heard of lots of people at the pre-release got destroyed by this thing.
Yeah, the card seems good. It's just like Halmar Weight Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
I like that card.
basically straight up a leveling card. But
Yeah, I mean, it's a level-up card. But, 13-13 Trampler.
yeah, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah, you're probably just going to lose. No doubt about it. Now, Makeshift Mauler,
It's good.
It's
Milliken
powerful.
into that guy. Get him.
He's very good. He's a strong, fantastic card.
What happened to Giant Octopus being too good? So they had to cut that from the core sets. Now they're just like, all right.
The 4-mana 3/3, and now they're like 4-mana 4/5s in blue, right?
Yeah.
Get you. So up next is Memory's Journey, and this is a card that, much like Croson Reclamation, is going to be shuffling cards that are annoying you back into their library, so they can't flash them back, they can't Snapcaster Mage them out, so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's pretty narrow in that regard. Like, if they're playing a Snapcaster Mage and you have to, Purify the Grave or Memory's Journey to get their card, like, I don't think you're really winning in that fight necessarily, but this also has some uses. Like Croson Reclamation, I remember, was played in Hermit Druid decks where you deck yourself and then Croson Reclamation back some way to kill them. And this could be similar because it's a blue card.
Right, using the Mirror Mad Phantasm type stuff.
Yeah, and the flashback's cheaper too. So
Right.
I don't know, if you play like a legacy deck that is going to deck yourself, you probably kill them with Dread Return. But that option's still there.
Yeah, for me, the problem, as you try to sort of fight the Snapcaster Mage axis is that, Memory's Journey does get rid of 3 targets, so which could be all of their targets, for what it's worth. But, ultimately that's probably just stretching it, isn't it?
Is that worth a card?
Probably not. And it's not drawing you cards. So, if it cantripped or something, maybe
Yeah, then it'd be more than fine.
it'd be great. But all by itself, Mindstreaker, one of my preview cards. I like this card. Now, I understand that in Standard, you're going to have 40% of your deck that just does nothing with this card when you activate it. I get that. But, it's a card full of possibility for me. And Limited seems ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't ever want to play against this card in Limited. It seems absurd.
I hope you have some removal, because
Yeah.
you're going to need it. Mirror Mad Phantasm, so you have a little tale about Mirror Mad Phantasm?
I don't know. People say the most absurd stuff about this, and reading is hard, so it's hard for me to understand.
But reading is tech.
That's also true.
As
If
it
I could
turns
read.
So, this is one of those cards that, as I understand, was designed by Richard Garfield, but it's just weird. It's a weird card that does weird things.
Yep.
Now, some people were saying, if you activate it twice, you mill everything.
Yeah, I don't know. People,
think that's
no,
true.
people are just saying the most absurd stuff. Like, the only thing I've heard is, it's in your graveyard, you have Necrotic Ooze.
Right.
That mills yourself.
Okay.
But everything else is it does a little milling.
So what you're saying is that Laboratory Maniac combo is going to be a tier 1 deck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't get that out with a straight face. Come on! Moon Heron, heyo!
That's good.
Woo woo!
Better than the 4-mana 2/2 Flying Vigilance.
Yep.
I like the extra power of the Vigilance. That's good.
I like bread and butter.
Snapping Drake.
So good. Just good. Just a fine card. If you're playing blue and you're limited, awesome. Speaking of awesome limited cards.
This card's real good. Murder of Crows.
I lost to this card a couple times at the pre-release. This card is extremely good. Now, first, it's a 4/4, which is pretty big and limited, and can block all sorts of things. Doesn't let you alpha very well because they just block and draw a bunch of cards, and if they have any removal spells, then they turn into cantrips. So, not necessarily cantrips, but, looting is powerful.
Yes.
And getting things in the graveyard when you have creatures like the 4-mana 4/5 we just talked about that has to exile a creature when it comes into the battlefield, this type of card helps that out.
Air Elemental is almost unbeatable, and this card lets you loot as well.
It's an Air Elemental that loots. Never bad. Ever. Rooftop Storm.
Speaking of tier 1 decks,
Yeah! Totally going to take over the metagame.
I was doing a gatherer search for zombies,
Where are you now?
and there wasn't that many, unfortunately. For Standard, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those cards that makes me feel like I understand why they're going to kill off the tribal spells. You know, I understand. But part of it is, you know, it would be kind of cool to play zombie sorceries off this, even if it does say creature spells on it. It's just, you know, but this card to me is a beautiful, like, weird design.
Yeah.
You know, like, people are going to read this and just be like, oh, my zombies are free. You know, it's like, yeah. But ultimately, you could probably just make the mana to play them with the 6 mana that you paid to play them.
You could, but that's not the point.
But that's not fun. Fun is for free. Free is fun. You draw your guy, you just put him down. That's the funsies.
No work necessary.
Now, Runic Repetition. What do you think about this card? Can this card actually get constructed?
No.
No, just not going to happen. Even like as a one of, just as a little like cute. It's too cute, isn't it?
The flashback card that you're returning would have to be awesome.
Right.
And the flashback cards are fine. There's like Forbidden Alchemy, Think Twice, Unburial Rites, stuff like that. They're okay. They're not insane. You don't need a Recollect, basically.
Yeah, man, that's unfortunate. It's a super cute card. Like, in Limited, you're going to be able to do stupid things. We were discussing with our editor and director, Jeremy, about how, you know, the bounce spell was played on him some ridiculous amount of times.
Yeah,
thanks
but that
to,
involves Snapcaster Mage.
It did involve Snapcaster Mage, which we're getting to. But Runic Repetition was in there. If it weren't for Runic Repetition, he wouldn't have been able to do it. All right, fine, I'm moving on. Selhoff Occultist. Really, guys? Selhoff? Really? Okay. Yeah. You mill 1 card off the 2 mana 2/3 or the 3 mana 2/3.
Slightly above average body,
Yep.
holding a little dagger. But yeah, I got nothing.
All right, moving on. The creepiest art in the set, Sensory Deprivation. This reminds me of when I was a kid and there was the Man in the Box video, the Alice in Chains Man in the Box video.
You're a little older than me.
Oh, jeez. Really? Really?
Just
oh,
a
my
little
God.
older.
No, I feel so old. Whatever. The people at home who saw the Man in the Box video know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's exactly like this. And it's the creepiest, freaky thing. Actually, as I recall, it actually gave me nightmares. Because it was...
It's all right, buddy.
I was a small child. I was like 11.
I'm gonna draft some of these and like draw first, and it's gonna be awesome. That's my take on that.
Silent Departure. Speaking of the flashback spell, the Runic Repetition.
Yeah, this one's good. Pretty sweet tempo card, you know. If you're ever head on board like this or the repel card with flashback, you know, they're gonna keep you there. So
Yeah.
it's always good.
This is one of those, like, if you have multiples of this card, it seems difficult to lose sometimes with any significant threat. Yeah. So the only 6/9 in Magic, Scopulath.
New Frost Titan?
Nah.
No, probably.
Nah. He's got Trample, though.
Yeah,
It is funny to see Trample on blue cards.
it is.
You know?
He's a giant.
He's a zombie giant. Not just a zombie, but he's a giant zombie.
Playing for free.
All right, man. Let's get to it. Scob Ruinator. Where do you fall? Because we have heard this called top five in the set.
That might be true, but there's not a place for this card right now. You can play one of it in some Earthing Pod decks, but there's not going to be like a self-milling like 4 Ruinator deck. You know, it's not Vengevine. The cards aren't there yet.
So you think it might get there?
It could get there.
Couple sets?
Or, like I was saying earlier, if you play Extended somehow.
People run extended events?
Then you can play Dredgevine, and
Yeah.
then that card will be good there.
Card seems insane in Dredgevine.
This card's okay.
So this card seems decent. Small amount. Oh my god! Oh my god, Snapcaster Mage. Oh my god, what the hell were they thinking? Really, seriously? This card is nuts. This card is nuts. People, it's like when they revealed Mental Misstep, and there were some people who were just like, that card is bad in Legacy, and you're just like, what?
No.
And so people are just like, this card is not that great, and I'm like, really? Really?
This card is good. It's not insane. It's all about value.
It's Cryptic Command. If Cryptic Command made a 2/1, he would be the other half, right?
Sure.
I mean, because, wow. I mean, the value you get out of this guy is absurd. The small amount of testing I've done with this guy is just, you feel so good with a Snapcaster Mage. Everything is like, the world is your oyster, and you're just like, you know, flashing back your Day of Judgments and your Ponders and whatever.
The farther you go back, the better that card gets for sure.
Yeah.
Like Legacy, that card seems good. Like, you ban Misstep, but you print that one. I don't know if that helps anything.
Card is nuts. All right, fine. You talking about
I mean,
Snapcaster
what else?
anymore?
What else can we say? It's good. You should buy some. I don't know.
You know, yeah. It's not going to like wreck the format. I think it's going to be in every blue deck for the next 2 years.
Sure, it'll be really annoying to play against, and it'll be really good. But it's not like Primeval Titan into 2 battle kits, you're dead. It's value. It's really good, but they have to work for it still.
Well, Snapcaster feels like one of those cards that you lose to it, but you don't realize that you lost to it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You actually lost to its value 2 turns ago. You just didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it's JC in that way. Not to go that far, but it's in that it's a very subtle card.
Yeah.
That I think a lot of, and Patrick Sullivan actually today, was talking about it, and that it's it's one of those cards that new players don't really understand how good it is, because it's just pure value, and it's only value based on how long the game goes on and how many options you can use with it.
Yep.
So,
and Patrick is a smart guy, and as usual, he's very correct.
All right, man, Spectral Flight.
Bigger.
For a blue enchant creature, that's pretty good. A war paint that gives it flying, it's weird. Blue is sort of very aggro in this set.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy, especially with this next card.
Oh, I lost to this card multiple times at the pre-release.
Seems like you lost to a lot of different cards a lot of times at the pre-release.
I did, as it turns out, but I find this out as I play, and Stitch Drake is certainly one of the better blue cards. No doubt.
There's been cards like Wormfang Drake. That one was kind of a beating in limited too, and this one is a lot better, I think.
4 toughness is insane.
Yeah.
That's very good. Now, Stitcher's Apprentice is one of those wonderful, crazy cards.
Yeah. You can upgrade your 1/2 into a 2/2 if you want. Maybe if you got something that's blocking, about to die, you do that. It's a lot of different uses.
I mean, it helps out Morbid.
That's true.
There's a lot of ways that this card is actually really, really interesting. Ultimately, it's nice that it's a common, so you can see it often and you can get it late. So, Stormgeist. What do you know about that guy?
I wish it was like back in the day when we could play Magpies, and that was it. But this card seems a little too slow, not all that good.
I feel like, this is one of those cards, if it was 4 mana, I think it might be on the verge of too good.
Yeah, no, it definitely would be too good at 4 mana.
Yeah. But in 5 mana, it's actually just, not playable.
Too slow. You lose too much tempo if it dies.
If it was 4.5 mana, it would be perfect.
Nah, it'd still be bad.
Ah, okay. Well, I mean, that's what they've said about Stone Rain for years. If Stone Rain was 3.5 mana, it would be perfect.
It's true.
It's too good at 3 mana. It's not good enough
3
at 4
mana. 3 mana's too
mana.
good, 4 mana's not good.
So think twice. Do you think it's going to be in all the blue decks?
Yeah, I hate this card.
Yeah.
Just so overcosted, but probably necessary evil. I just want Jace Bellerin back, Is that too much?
Yeah, it is. Yes, we lived with Jace for years.
Jace Bellerin. It's like Snapcaster Mage where you don't realize you're losing to it.
Yeah. Love that. So Undead Alchemist is one of those cards that you read and you tilt the head and you go, really?
I read some stuff, on Twitter maybe, where someone was like, if a zombie you control would deal combat damage to a player, I stopped reading. And to be fair, it's blue, it's a 4/2, it says that, which is all right, probably not going to play with it. But then there's also a lot of text after it, and it doesn't seem that bad.
It's not that. I mean, obviously, you don't want to go into the red zone with this unless you absolutely have to, because he's just a 4/2. But he's a 4-mana 4/2, so he can hit early. He's very synergistic.
You need those sick blue auras.
Yeah.
+2/+2 and flying.
Fine. Mill 6, get some zombies. Just saying they pushed it. They pushed it for blue. Blue has trample. Blue has all these 4/5, 4-mana 4/5s.
Blue is too good.
1996 called.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that was our blue set review for Innistrad. I'd like to thank Gerry for his time once again. We will see you here tomorrow for the black cards. Until next time, this is Evan Irwin and Gerry Thompson tapping the cards so you don't have to.
I always like the fatties.